since we were looking at the stress from my over I with regard to computing the inertias along the length of the vessel, those are all based on the longitudinally effective structure. Now, I think it already ignores transverse structure that's in here, even though in the current model, if we view longitudinally effective structure and we put a cutting plane here, we can see even our transverse bulkheads are considered longitudinally effective. I mean, they're listed as being longitudinally effective, but they're not really. And I think Maestro may ignore them for purposes of computing IZZ. If we wanted to guarantee that, one way of doing that would be in the group extract. We didn't use this before, but there's an option in here for, well, you can extract longitudinally effective elements. Right now, it would extract the entire model. But we can say extract X, Y, or Z elements, and we can specify that we want to extract only the transverse structure. So now we've gotten all the transverse structure, although there's an angular tolerance there. So we got a little more than we wanted, but this is just a group, so we can delete things without causing any changes to the model. So we'll come in and we'll grab one of those elements and add by seed, and then we can just grab the rest of these manually. There's only a few. These pieces here. Those must be the degenerate elements that it was complaining about. Anyway, we'll delete those from the group. And for all of these, we can come in and say, change the longitudinal effectiveness to off. And when we come back into our main part, we're still viewing longitudinally effective structure, and you can see it's only all of our longitudinal stiffeners, girders, and the decks and longitudinal bulkheads, as well as the shell. Although that seems to be off. Did I fail to? Oh, I guess for the same reason it put it in this group, I guess it's also excluding it from longitudinally effective. We'd have to add those to be longitudinally effective up at the bow. Not that it matters, it's so far forward. Let's go back to the regular view and get rid of this cutting plane. So shadow areas are, if we have some openings in the deck, we may want to apply a shadow area forward and aft of that opening so that it doesn't get considered as being longitudinally effective for purposes of hull properties. It's not really going to have any effect on the stresses computed for the finite element model. That's all going to be based on what we've modeled, all of the structure that we've modeled. But for those hull properties, for area of longitudinally effective structure, the inertias and so forth, neutral axis, it will affect those. One of the group options here is for shadow area, and we can create a shadow area group. You can manually add elements to a shadow area, or you can use nodes to define where to start the edge. And I'm going to grab a really large one here so that we can see it in the inertia plot. So I'll grab a node near the deck edge on one side and near the deck edge on the other side, and you set the shadow ratio, basically how quickly it's going to close, and the default is a 4:1 ratio. And we say add, it grabs all of the plates at a 4:1 slope and the attached beams and adds them to this group. And if I had gone from this side to that side, it would have projected in the opposite direction. But we'll go ahead and create this shadow area, and if we view longitudinally effective structure, you can see it's now missing. It creates a new subgroup under general, and if I view, say, IZZ, we should see a significant drop in the properties along the length where that big shadow area is. So that's where the shadow area started, tapers down, and you can see our inertia curve, or sectional inertia comes along, and as soon as we hit that large lack of effective structure in the deck, there's a big drop. It's sort of tapering up, but the hull is also getting a little smaller, so it kind of cancels out and stays level in that area until it tapers down. Originally, the curve would have been sort of continuous along here. But anyway, just wanted to let you know that that shadow area is available, and I guess on the sectional area plot here, you can see, it's displayed in green where it's not longitudinally effective. And we can undo that. We can make it longitudinally effective again. Delete that group. And when we come back into the display here and show effectiveness, you can see it's back. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that was available.